good that we're recording.
Wonderful.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hello. Not just
Hello.
Harley and Aaron, but you too. You listening right now. Welcome
Wow,
to
real smooth.
Thank you. This is the I'm very proud of the intro section, Aaron, whenever I lead it. So
Yeah.
hello and welcome to episode 11 of A Piece of Our Minds, a podcast about the creative process from the perspective of three amateurs just going about their day.
Just going about
Just going about our day. We look at pop culture stuff and base our information around that.
Yeah.
And also our own preferences and opinions.
Yeah. And it's a good time. Thank you for listening. My name is Xander. I am the pseudo host, and I am joined by my two illustrious friends, Harley and Aaron.
Ooh, illustrious.
I'm gonna start researching.
We're gonna
adjectives.
We're gonna
You're
get
gonna have like a dictionary.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
thesaurus.
We're gonna be 20 episodes in, and you're just gonna be like, insert adjective here.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
I like illustrious though.
illustrious is good. Yeah. It's Harley and Aaron.
Yes, I am Harley, the amateur writer.
Yes.
And I am Aaron. And as I always say, I'm here for a good time.
I'm here for both of those things. Yeah, as you know, Harley and I are working on novels, and Aaron is here. Aaron has been a help with all the short film projects that we have been discussing.
Yeah.
He's also here for moral support.
Yes, and because he has good ideas about film and art in general.
Well, thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate having you here, and I want the audience to understand that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great.
You're welcome. Anyway, so the topic that we're going to discuss today, of course, is character trees and different ways to develop characters when you're doing your pre-work for a project or a story or whatever. Before we get into that, let's talk about what we did this week. As always, let's go into that a little bit. So what I did was I wrote. So we've talked about it a little bit. We've been working on a bigger project that's going to be a new entry into the Fat Xander series, which is a running series of short films on our YouTube channel, Let Us Rock Productions. And we had a script and a plan laid out for a new one, and then we had to completely rework it because of some things that came up. So I rewrote that script this week. Can we say what it's called? Or should we keep that?
I think we can.
I think we can say the title. Yeah.
Okay, so the title is Silhouette, a Fat Xander Story. And it's going to be more of an action movie take on the Fat Xander world that we've been building with a focus on the producer and the interviewer, who are played by Harley and Aaron. And then I'm going to direct and play a mystery character who I'm not going to reveal yet. Because that's a surprise. So I wrote the script for that. That was a lot of fun. But before I wrote the script for that, I did some more research into dialogue and everything. So I actually knew what I was doing more this time instead of every other time when I just wing it. So I found online this way to develop characters in what's called a character tree. We're going to get more into that later, but it is a very helpful way for character development. And of course, other stuff I did, I wrote for 10 minutes every day on my novel, No One's Alone at the End of Time, that talked about a lot. And you probably still don't understand anything that it's about. Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Harley or Aaron, what did you guys do?
I guess I'll go next. So, I didn't watch a lot of movies this week. This week I was slacking on the movie department, but the movies that I did watch, I watched Palm Springs.
Yes, good.
That was good. That was such an interesting take. No, I genuinely liked it. And then I started watching.
Is Palm Springs the Andy Samberg movie?
Yeah, it's the new Andy Samberg. It's on Hulu.
It's like a Groundhog Day like type movie.
Yeah, it's that kind of.
the time loop. Like,
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about that.
it's very
I know.
good.
I
Yeah.
finally watched it, enjoyed it. And then I started watching a big franchise movie, Indiana Jones. I only saw the first one, but it was good.
Mhm.
I've heard that that's the best one,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what I
kind of
heard too.
disappointing because
Have-
all the other ones are on Netflix, and so it kind of discourages me from watching the rest of them. But I liked it. Like I'd
Mhm.
never really watched Indiana Jones. I'd seen clips, but
Mhm. Mhm.
like sitting it down and watching it, I thought it was like very unique, and I liked
Mhm.
how they did everything. So
Yeah. Have you ever seen Back to the Future?
I
Okay.
have. It's been
Okay.
a long time.
I was gonna say that's on Netflix now, and I was like, if that's something you haven't watched, you need to
Yeah,
watch it. All three of them.
that's
They're all
classic.
fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
Let me interject quick. I forgot about the movie I watched this week. That wasn't a rom com, which I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, I tried not watching rom coms this week.
I
was like, let's
tried.
take a
I
break.
tried to watch rom coms this week. It did not work out. Well, for first I rewatched Knives Out for the first time since I saw it in the theaters, and that was
So
fantastic.
so good.
Yeah, this is especially the beginning, the first act of that movie, where it's like focusing on like setting up the characters and the relationships and like all of that, and then
Yeah.
like at the end of the first act when they introduce like what the twist of the movie's going for, uh, just that act is amazing, and the rest of it's good too. But just I love that. I also watched a movie called Cabaret last night. Which have either of you heard of that movie?
I have not.
Okay, it's a musical from I think the 70s. It's about this cabaret, which is like a dance club house thing in Nazi Germany. But they don't talk a lot about Nazi Germany. It mostly focus on like this dancer and like this kind of like stuck up, kind of like more snobby British guy and like their relationship. And it was very good. Not a romance, but not a rom com. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it plays with like themes of like sexuality and stuff. Yeah, it's good, worth a shot, and it's a musical, so I love
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess
Harley. Yeah.
I'll go next. As you know, I've been very busy these last 2 weeks because I recently started my job.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, I have done a lot more writing than I have in past weeks this week, and I was very proud of that fact. I got quite a bit of writing done, and I'm getting started into an interaction between Lane and his father, and it's going to be interesting because, like I have said many times before, I don't really want people to like Lane at the beginning. I don't want them to like him even though he's the protagonist. It's like, oh, you should like the protagonist right away. It's like, no, I don't want that. I showed his likable side already. Now with this interaction, I'm starting to bring out his little darker sides, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to go because it's going to be very interesting because his father is very kind, very loving, and he lets just a little bit slip about Lane and his mother, and Lane is not going to take it well. And so it's going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that family dynamic.
Yes.
I don't remember if I went into depth about Lane's relationship with his mother during the special of.
You did a bit. You did a little bit.
Yes. To make it short and sweet, Lane's mother was extremely abusive, and she tried to kill him multiple times throughout his childhood. And so
Aaron's just got the biggest smile on his face right now.
Yeah.
It's like just the way you address that. She was very abusive.
She's very. Saying she's abusive is putting it lightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Lane's father obviously didn't know until the very end, and so he loved his wife completely and wholly. He was the perfect husband, but now he realized that his wife was secretly a monster and tried to kill her son and tortured him. And so it's interesting, the dynamic between like what Lane knows and what his dad knows, because like
That's some dramatic irony right there.
yeah, because like obviously
Yeah.
Lane's father still loves his Lane's mother, but Lane obviously despises his mother. And he hates the fact that Lane's father still loves his mom because he doesn't know everything that he did, that she did. And so it's going to be really interesting. And I don't really know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just getting into the interaction, and I'm hoping I can make it good. And other than that, I haven't watched many movies lately. I've done a lot of reading. That's about it.
Well, in that case.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but all that stuff with the characters, uber important to put it like blatantly, to do all that kind of stuff. And just like, of course, we're amateurs. We wing everything.
Yes.
Just by nature. But what I really want to start doing is learning how to like actually do it. Because that's what I want this podcast to do. I want us to like evolve and like learn about like what we're doing. So I guess the first step in that is a good way to flesh out a 3-dimensional character with like what their entire psychology is, like how they're going to react to a situation different from someone else. Like a great way to do that is like what's called a character tree. And the one I used, the character tree I used was based, I think his name's Film Crit Hulk. Is like his username online. But yeah, he just made this system. If you Google Film Crit Hulk character sheet, you can, maybe I'll put a link to it in the description. But yeah, it just like goes through like the different like types of like the different aspects of a character, and how to flesh them out. Yeah. So I don't know what the best way to do this is. So it goes through from the feet to the groin, heart, throat, left cheek, right cheek, and the crown are the different. Yes, groin.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
Because it's funny. Because we're 3 teenage boys talking about groins. Yeah, just 3 dudes talking about groins.
Couple of guys.
Just a couple of guys being.
This is the description for the podcast this week.
Just a couple of guys.
We're just a couple of guys. We're just a couple of guys.
Talking about groins.
Anyway,
I'm writing that down. Yeah. Okay. So the way it works is like each thing isn't like actually what it is. It's just like a representation of like that aspect. So it starts with the feet. Another thing I was thinking we could do is we could talk about the character of the producer as we go through this character tree. And I already made one of the producer, but I think it'll be fun that we could do together. Yeah. So it starts off. Yeah, I know, right? So it starts off. The producer, for those who don't know, is the main antagonist of the short series, I guess, that we made, Too Fat to Xander. And he's, I guess you'll learn more about him as we go through this. So we start with the feet. And what the feet are is like the physical facts and characteristics that you know about this character. Like, who are they? Like, what do they wear? Like, just that like baseline stuff. So what do you think with the producer? It's like that kind of information, that upfront information.
So he's about 6'1", 170, brown hair.
I was thinking more like job description, but that works. No, that's good. Having the physical appearance is very important for the character.
Is always dressed nicely. Well dressed.
Yes. Yeah.
He cares about his appearance.
Yes. Yeah. I did talk about that a little bit in mine. Yeah. He always wears his suit and his sunglasses, no matter what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still gotta have my sunglasses.
Yeah. Also, another important thing is like his history and like what his backstory is.
His backstory, I guess, that'd be he was a producer on Fat Xander's documentary from the first Fat Xander ever created.
Yes.
And
I also put he's basically a mercenary who's like who's been like disguised as a producer in order to hunt all these gods known as Fats, who are different gods of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so he's been hunting these guys down for, I'd say he'd been doing it for a couple years.
Yeah, I'd say like a long time.
Yeah.
Is basically what
a long time.
Like I don't really see the producer as like entirely human. Like honestly.
Yeah, I don't either. I
Yeah.
feel
he definitely
like
has he's not a god, but he's like somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of like superhuman kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are all the physical characteristics. That's the feet of the producer. Now we get to the haha groin of him. And this is like his wants. This is his innate desires and like 7 deadly sins, like kind of stuff, like how that manifests.
Well, I think it depends on power. It depends on when you like, because like it's changed through the series.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what, he still has like this innate desire for power.
Yeah.
Like like he has a change of heart like to his ethics, but he still has that. He still has that
desire for power.
He's like, I want to be powerful. Like,
but he also wants to like help the world.
Yeah,
in his own way.
Yeah, he wants to do it in his own special kind of way.
At first he's like, I need to get very powerful in order to do this.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of changing it to like, I can help Fat Xander make the world better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also put that he really wants like a formality to everything. Like he has like that's one of his innate like things that he wants.
He thinks everything should be cut and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the groin is. It's like super like primal, instinctive kind of reactions to things. Some of the other things I put down was that he's really he can get jealous of other people's powers, and like that's his envy, like kind of personified. Because like he's jealous of like all the gods' power, and then like he's jealous of like he's still like a little bit jealous of like Fat Xander becoming the patron god of rap at the end. I feel like he's had a change of heart, but like still,
he still wishes that it was.
There's still a little bit of that,
To go from having that motive to like totally changing your ethics, like there's definitely still some of that.
Like these kind of things, like they're gonna be there, like no matter what. He can kind of like suppress them, but they're gonna be there. Also, another thing I put is that he really wants to be something greater than himself. Like has this innate drive to just like reach towards whatever's like on the horizon and not like what's there. Like that's always kind of like pushing him forward too.
Yeah. No, he's got big goals.
Yes. Big goals. Yeah. For better or worse, he has really big goals and aspirations. So that's the groin. Just their desires, their wants, like that kind of stuff. So next is the heart, and the heart is what this character needs. Like what is going to make them what is going to make them a more fulfilled person. And like a better person, and this is like we're getting like really deep into like the motivation of them.
This is like really,
this is like stuff they don't even realize about themselves, but you as the writer need to understand.
Yeah. So his needs.
What is the producer?
So at this point, kind of like what Harley said, is like helping out Fat Xander, and like. I feel like he needs closure when it comes to that. Because, like, obviously the goal was different at first, but now trying to help Fat Xander has changed. But overall, like, he, like, needs to be fulfilled in that aspect of, like, accomplishing his goals of making the world better.
Definitely, yeah. I also put that he, like, when I was thinking of it, I was like, his morals have kind of changed, but I feel like the thing he's searching for is still pretty much the same. He's just looking at it like differently. So I was trying to think, I was like, what's that? So what I came up with, I feel like he needs a sense of direction and purpose is what he really needs in his life.
Yeah.
To make him like whole. because like he does like the way I manifested that in writing the script for Silhouette of Fat Xander's story was, so Fat Xander is gone and he doesn't know where he is, and like he doesn't think he wants to be found, but he's still like searching for him.
Mm-hmm.
But he really doesn't. He doesn't really know why he needs to find Fat Xander. He just he's like, I need Fat Xander. He's like, I need some direction and purpose. Like, this is what I know. Yeah. But he doesn't realize that himself. He's just like, I need to find Fat Xander.
Yeah. He doesn't understand like what his purpose is at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. So he needs that. The other thing I put that made a lot of sense to me, especially with the new friendship with the interviewer that I was going to introduce more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like deep down he really needs more personal connections too. Like
I would agree with
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I feel
because he's so ambitious, like it helps to have like advisors or friends or like people in your life.
Yeah. And that is something he definitely doesn't realize about himself.
Yeah.
But like like him growing closer with Fat Xander, like that was the first person he like really grew close with.
It's like he needs that. Like he needs that acknowledgement that he is doing good.
Yeah. And like that, he's like finding that more in the interviewer now, who's like kind of like nonchalantly helping him. Yeah. So that's the heart. The heart is what do they realize or don't realize that they need to like grow and be fulfilled. And then we come to the throat, which is more with superficial stuff, but it's how they present themselves, like with how they speak or how they act or dress or like stand and stuff.
I feel like he wants people to think that he's very well put together, and he has a lot. He has pretty much everything figured out.
Yeah. Very. He loves to keep it very professional.
Definitely.
Very stoic too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's stoic. Yeah.
Like
he wants to like keep his distance from others.
Yeah, he's a man of few words. I also, he has good posture too. Like he likes to like keep it. He wants people to see him. Yeah, he wants to see him as like people to see him as like this high up like kind of figure. And with that, I also put that I don't think he realizes it, but he's very condescending to people that he sees as beneath him. I feel.
Well, and that kind of ties back to how he thinks he's like almost like a superhuman kind of thing.
Yeah. He likes to like show off like a sense of power around him, and that draws back to like his want for power.
Definitely. So that's the throat. I need to pull up the document real quick to remind myself what the different cheeks are. Awesome. Can you guys hear the lawnmower outside? Yeah, this is great. Okay, so we then have the left cheek. So basically, left cheek, right cheek is basically left brain, right brain. Like if you think about it. So it's their methodology is basically the left cheek, their intelligence, their practicality, or like how are they going to, if there is a problem in front of them, how are they going to solve it?
Okay.
See, I love this. This is like
this is
hard.
Yeah, this is interesting because like he obviously like plans, but like it doesn't seem like he plans very far ahead.
Yeah.
Like he sets like 4 steps down and is like, all right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I feel like he's a very smart person and very rational. Like
I would
agree. Good
lawnmower.
He'll go through a problem he'll try and go through it slowly and figure it out, like you said, very rationally.
Yeah.
Try and figure out. He's a very logical person.
He definitely does his research before heading into something. Like
definitely
has the background on things.
The other thing I think, like, it didn't really manifest a lot in Too Fat, Too Xander, I feel, but I feel like just the way that he sees everything, I feel like he's kind of the type of person who wouldn't, like, see or understand, like, an obvious solution to something. Like, he's gonna, like, he's not gonna like look in and be like, oh, this is super simple. Like he's like, oh, you can easily do this. He's like, no. He's like, you need to do like this like super complicated plan in order to solve this.
Yeah.
And like then someone else would be like, no, you just do this one thing. He's like, no.
No.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
And then he like offers like a huge explanation of why that wouldn't work. Even though it definitely would.
He definitely, I feel like if you like put something in front of him and you're like, work this out, he's like, okay, I'm gonna like completely go around and like overcomplicate it, but still come to like a smart, rational answer, but just overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
Because that's the way he wants to like seem more powerful and smart than he is. Like he needs that direction. So I'm glad you guys came to that same realization I did.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, cause this is not anything I would just sit down and think about like on my own working out like a character. Like that's why doing this kind of character work is so interesting. Like we talked like a little bit about this in my acting class too, like thinking way too in-depth about a character than you really need to, but that gives you such a good in-depth look at their psychology. And it really makes you can like plan for anything, and helps make writing dialogue so much easier too.
Well, I think the thing that people need to realize is like it's not them. Like it's not like like it really, really puts you into the character's mindset instead of you kind of making the decisions slightly off of your opinion instead of the character.
Totally. I think I actually unintentionally did this like character tree when I was writing my notes for Twisted Wolf.
Did you really?
I think I definitely did. Like
nice.
But did he freeze or is he?
Did he freeze? He froze.
Harley is gone for a second.
Wow.
Great. Well, that's until Harley returns. That is the left cheek. That's the methodology, and like, if they have a problem, how are they going to solve it? There he is. There he is. He's back. I think he's good. Okay, so opposite of the left cheek is the right cheek, which is more like the right brain, and that's more of looking at what the character's ethics and their soul are. So basically, like, what are they unpractical about? Like, how do they think about like art or like their ideals or their spirituality? Like, kind of more like their.
Well, as we said, like his ethics have changed, but I think overall, like he has, like his end goal, like he has good intentions, but to get there, it's like willing to get that done at any cost. So like it's good and bad. Like deep down, I guess you could say he has like a good soul, but like his path to get there it's not always pretty. So it's, I don't know. Absolutely. His ethics are kind of like in weird places. Like
he's definitely like he's reworking his ethics like as we're seeing him. So it's like it's hard to work out. It's hard to pinpoint. The main things I came up with of like that kind of stuff were that he cares a lot about presentation. Like that is something he is very adamant about. It's like making sure everything looks good and sounds good and like everything's sound and reasonable.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist for sure.
Yeah. Is Harley just
Harley's struggling.
Yeah, he is.
No, I really like this character tree thing, man.
Yeah, no, it is very, very helpful.
Okay, I think I got it fixed.
Are you good? Are you good now? Okay.
The hotspot fell off where I put it and broke open, and so I had to put it back together.
No.
Oh my god. Well,
I got it fixed now.
I am leaving all of that in. So
okay. I heard like a little bit of the snippets of you guys going into like the producer and such, and like I was just about to go into like how I was doing the same thing with all my characters.
Yeah, no, I want to hear about that. Yeah,
because I was reaching over to find my notes
And then you knocked the Wi-Fi around.
Yeah, I did. I knocked it off because like I did this whole thing because I did it with Lane and Seth and his dad. I didn't do it with Jackie because I kind of threw her in later, which I kind of feel bad about. But I know I did it with Lane and Seth, and I went totally in depth on like I didn't go into how they look, but I went into like what they are interested in and what they want and all that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's the character work I wish I would have done before No One's Alone at the End of Time.
And I just realized that I barely scratched the surface on this character tree thing for my character, for all my people.
It can get really in depth, but like you won't use you're not guaranteed to use all of it, but it is so helpful for like getting in the mindset of like writing that character. Because with dialogue, the main thing, because one of the ideas I want to do this week was dialogue, so I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. One of the great things to do with dialogue is a realistic conversation doesn't really have a point. So when you're writing, you can't make it not have a point because it needs to have a point. There needs to be a point, a reason for why so you can't make like a true realistic conversation. So the way you get around that is by having little misunderstandings in the conversation and really thinking about how like the character hears this line, how do they react?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, so the producer hears the interview say this one joke, like he's not gonna just like quip back at him. He's gonna be like, I don't understand this. Like, so you really need to get into the mindset of like when you're writing dialogue, writing like not like a back and forth, but kind of like a hearing and understanding.
Yeah.
Like the character processes these words and then responds.
Yeah.
Like how is the character processing what they just heard?
Yeah.
And how are they choosing to hear it?
It's a lot more reaction based.
Yeah, reaction based. Yeah, that's reaction back and forth. That's the word I was looking for. And one of the best ways to get into being able to understand how your character would react to those words is by doing this kind of character work. Yeah. And that's me on my soapbox about doing this kind of character work.
We can go deeper into dialogue next week.
We can. Yeah. No teaser. Okay, but let's wrap up. Yeah, that was smooth. But we can wrap up this character sheet quick. So yeah, the right cheek is their ethics, their morality, spirituality too a little bit, which I put that the producer is probably not spiritual at all because he kills gods. He literally kills gods. Yeah, so I could not see him being.
Well, that could mean that he's spiritual, but he just like hates it. Like he just like he definitely is well informed about it.
That's interesting.
Like he was like he definitely
he's well informed.
He believes in these gods and he's obviously researched them.
Yeah.
Something went wrong with how he interacted with them.
That's an interesting take.
To lead to this just deep desire for their power and his hatred for them. That slowly developed into
because I feel like spirituality is definitely like a thing for like a person in need of like a direction or purpose.
Yes.
So I don't know, being spiritual does kind of fall into his needs. So I guess he is kind of spiritual.
He's spiritual in his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a very special kind of way.
I like
not
that.
In the traditional sense.
Because like he obviously had some sort of respect for these for these gods before like he decided to hunt them down and kill them.
Yeah.
Because he knows that they're powerful and he knows that he needs to be powerful in order to take them down.
Damn.
And now he's changed with his desire to find Fat Xander.
Yeah.
Damn. You guys are getting more in depth in this than I even did. This is why it's good to talk about this kind of thing with people and not just sit alone in your basement like I did. Okay, so the final aspect of the character tree is the crown. And what the crown is basically just a summation of this character's psychology. And the way, whenever I was watching stuff about it, the way they put it was like, what is the archetype that this character basically falls under? That you can just think about it simply, but does do a good job of explaining it. So I want to hear what you guys think. Like, what is like a type of like, if you could sum up the producer in like a few words, what would it be? Like a sentence.
Um, well, one word would definitely be ambitious.
Mm.
He has a misguided sense of justice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
I like
like
that.
he's very misguided in his pursuit of his goals.
Yeah.
But he'll do anything to reach those goals.
Yeah. I like that. The one I came up with was a stoic businessman searching for something but never finding it.
Good.
That was like, I feel
that
like,
works too.
yeah.
I don't know why, but when you said archetypes, I was like lawful evil.
I mean, that works too. Basically, is lawful evil. I'd say he's lawful evil transitioning to like he's like lawful neutral. I feel like at this point.
Yeah,
at this point, I'd say
because he definitely has like a strict code that he follows with everything that he does.
Yeah, he does not. Besides murder, of course, he doesn't break laws.
Yeah. Producer is lawful neutral.
He is, yeah. And then what would the interviewer be?
Chaotic good.
I can see chaotic good.
Yeah, that's
he seems like just a goofy idiot, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, making the character tree for him was very fun.
Yeah,
he seems like just like a nice goofy guy. He doesn't like he
like ditzy, like
he doesn't follow the interviewer as a sense of responsibility, more of a sense of friendship.
Yeah. That's exactly what I got to with him. Yeah. The highlights from his character tree that I want to put overall, the crown that I put for the interviewer overall was he's an unmotivated sidekick who's driven by the hero and sees what they don't. Yeah. So the basic things, my favorite things was I feel like with the left cheek with like his logic and rationale. I feel like he definitely sees the easiest solution because he doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So he's always going to look for the simple answer. On the other hand, the producer looks for the overcomplicated answer.
Yeah,
the interviewer's like, no. It's like, we can just do this and then we're done.
Yeah. We're giving like a real in-depth description of this character that they haven't met yet.
That's true.
That's true. People don't really know.
This is going to give people something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Harley and I don't know the interviewer super well.
No. Because we only had him in I Am Fat Xander, but the whole joke was that he was just reading a script.
I was just reading a script because I was an interviewer.
Yeah, because the basic thing, I definitely put for the things I took from I Am Fat Xander with that was that he loves he loves like the art of language. Like, and that's why he's an interviewer. Yeah, like that's the one thing that he's like, oh, I love this. So like, I think I put a throwaway line.
Scripts.
Yeah, I put a throwaway line that he wants to watch some Tarantino movies when they get back in the new one. I was like, so that goes. But yeah, he just. But the other thing I put,
fun guy.
Yeah, that he's pretty like lazy if he has the option to be like because there's a little part in I Am Fat Xander when when you're reading a little bit of it and you're like, are you sure that's what it is? Like, is that really what it is? And then Fat Xander's like, just read the script. He's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like definitely
he could fix it, but he's like, eh.
Yeah, he's like, he just doesn't care. Like, I definitely want, but he cares about his friends and he wants to like go along with like whatever they want to do.
He's extremely devoted to his friends.
Yeah, but he's very unmotivated. But he cares about the producer and like wants to help.
Yeah.
So those are the basic things that I got with the interviewer. But the only reason I got to that, because I would have just wrote the interviewer as just like a goofy guy. But then I did this character work and I was like, he's actually an unmotivated person who cares deeply about his friends and also about conversations. And he's going to look for the easy way out of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was my 40-minute-ish high soapbox about do your
About
character development. Yeah, beforehand.
Yes.
Don't learn from me. Don't write like 100 pages of nonsense and then do your character development.
It definitely makes writing for the characters, I think it makes it way more fun if
Yeah.
you develop them beforehand.
It makes it
Because
so
like
much more fun.
you already know how they're going to act,
Mhm.
and it's just super fun to like play with the other characters
Yeah,
with how
if-
you're writing it.
Yeah, if you have that character development and you know these characters, it basically feels like you're being a dungeon master.
Yeah.
Like
And
in
it's really
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's a good way to put it.
It
Yeah.
was really fun with Seth and Lane, because like Seth is like this cocky, just
Mhm.
he's he's a goofy guy, but he's also really cocky and funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like he's just like a Chad, and it's really
Mhm.
funny because like playing that against Lane, who is like very sheltered, and he really isn't into like social interaction,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
he's very much an introvert, and he just
Mhm.
doesn't like he's very quiet. And so the interaction between them is just hilarious every time,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Lane is always trying to get out of the conversation,
Mhm. Mhm.
but Seth is always like, "Oh, bro, you're not going anywhere. We're gonna talk about this."
That's great. Like,
Because like
Yeah.
with his interaction with Jackie, Seth is already like, "Dude, you gotta tell me about this. This is gonna be so much fun."
mhm. Mhm.
Because Seth is
Yeah.
definitely like shipping him and Jackie.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
it's really funny to like
Yeah.
play with that.
Yeah, understanding character is the best way to like lead to interesting character moments in a story.
Mhm.
Like I still have a lot of work to do with that in my novel, and we all do. But that is the point of this podcast. Develop your characters.
Yeah.
It'll make it more
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. Don't do what I
Yeah.
did. And on that note, thank you all so much for listening. Ah!
We love
So
you.
excited. I do, every single one of you. I would give you a little kiss if I could, but I can't because it's a microphone, not a
Just make
lip.
a smooching noise.
Just
Yeah.
there's my kiss
perfect.
to you.
Aw.
Yeah,
Dude, this is ASMR right
this
here.
is some. Thank you all so much. For
Stop.
listening.
Oh God.
Stop.
Never mind. Stop.
Okay, thank you all so much for listening. If you have any suggestions on what you want us to talk about and cover on this podcast, reach out to us on social media, or if you have any comments about it, talk to us online, figure out some way to do it. All of our @s for Instagram and Twitter are in the descriptions of every single episode. We would appreciate a follow or a comment, or just like hitting us up, letting us know what you think, because you're listening to this podcast. And if you are, that means you found it somewhere, which means great job. But if you're interested in other options, of course, we are available on Anchor, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, RadioPublic, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Yeah, so leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Listen to us everywhere. Very, very helpful. Another thing you can do is the video version of this podcast goes up on YouTube at the exact same time as every single other one, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you can check that
see
out.
all of our beautiful faces. and
Yeah.
our
You
water.
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Harley when he freaked out and froze for like 5
I didn't
minutes. Like
freak out.
when-
that
when
scared
Harley-
me.
when he froze and for 5 minutes. You can see
Yeah,
his
you
lack
can
of
see Harley
movement.
disappear.
Yeah. You'll get some context besides just me and Aaron talking. But look us up. Our YouTube channel is Let Us Rock Productions. We are going to be making short films. All the like projects we'll be working on will go up on that channel. And also the video version of this. Subscribing there is probably the best way to support us. Let us know what you think about the other things we have made. That would be great. Again, that's Let Us Rock Productions. Like the salad lettuce. And then rock,
And
like
the rock,
granite.
like
yeah. Like granite, or I don't know.
like sandstone.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, and productions, like productions.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Productions,
Wow.
like the studio.
This
This is the worst
Okay.
bit. This is the worst bit. we've done.
We are
Okay.
not good at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So this is a weekly show. Tune in next week, Monday
Yes.
at noon every single week for another episode.
We'll be discussing dialogue.
We will. Yeah, we actually have a
Yes.
plan this week. It's
have a
amazing.
plan.
We're gonna
It's gonna be
we're gonna
great.
forget about it, and it's gonna be something completely different. But
Well, Harley, take
Anyways.
us away.
yeah,
Thank you all so much once again for letting us give you a piece of our minds.
love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.